Hello there, this is Rom Wills coming back at you with yet another podcast. Women raised in two-parent households versus single-parent households. And this is sponsored by Original Gentleman 85, right? He wanted me to talk about the difference. And when I say sponsored, he came with the donation. Now, if you want to guarantee that I'll do a question that you have, you need to bless a brother. Now, only thing with that is if it's something that I don't feel like I can answer or it's something that goes against my personal value system in any way, I'll give you your money back. So anyway, right? Here's the thing. Okay, I'm gonna tell you what. And the conventional wisdom is that the woman who was raised in a two-parent household would somehow be better as a better woman or a better woman to a particular man than one raised in a single-parent household. Notice I said conventional wisdom. That assumes a lot that would happen. That assumes that it was a functional household. Functional households in this day and age are going the way of the dodo bird. Seriously, you're going to find very few, even when the couples are married. There are so many married couples with kids where they barely interact with each other, where they're having trouble and everything. Right? And I'm going to just say, really, there's no real difference just based on whether it's a two-parent or a one-parent household, right? Because ultimately, if we're talking about the woman, it really is going to come down to how this woman interacts with the men in her life. Let me give an example. It could be a two-parent household, right? It could be a two-parent household, but you might have a situation where the woman is wearing the pants in the family. She's running everything. Right? Now, real talk, I remember there was a teacher from when I was in 7th and 8th grade. He was a French teacher. I think he was I don't know what the heck he did. Now that I can't remember now, I don't think I was taking French from him. I think he might have been Haitian or something. That's why I'm thinking French. But this guy was real weak. This guy was, he was weak. I hate for him to hear this and get mad or somebody, he want to take legal action or something, but I'm just saying, shit, I'll fight. I'll go to court on this one. He was a weak teacher. You go to get in his class, he couldn't control shit. And he wasn't like a small dude, but he was just an easygoing, passive type of dude, right? And, you had the kids run all over him. You had to have women teachers come in and keep order in his classroom, right? And I ain't think much about it. It was just like, oh, yeah, that's what he do. Yeah, whatever. I ain't really care either way, right? But then I ran into him again, like when I was in college. I ran into him again. I went on a date with this girl, picked her up and everything. And lo and behold, this is his daughter. I was like, damn, this is interesting, right? This is interesting. So I met the mom. It was like talking with the dad. Seriously. And when I say talking like the dad, you know how if you go on a date, if you got both parents there, sometimes, the dad will say something, right? You might do like that, I ain't never had that situation where dad, well, wait a minute. I was about to say that situation when in that movie, 50 Cent threatened his daughter's prom date and stuff with a gang of dudes in a back room or something. I was going to say that never happened, but I was like, oh, wait a minute. I think I did come close to that. Rom's had a wild life as an aside. But anyway, right? Instead of having that conversation, the father sit there, talk to you a bit, something. He might flex a little, let you know not to like fuck over his baby girl or something, right? But I kind of had that conversation with the mother. The father was just all passive. And, I didn't know, if I knew what I knew now about personality types and everything, I would have recognized what the deal was right away. But basically, the mother had the masculine energy and the woman had something else. Now, me and this young lady didn't work out. We didn't work out. But it's obvious to see why. In her view, we didn't really argue or something, but I ain't do some stuff she expected me to do. I don't think I showed some deference that she expected me to do. Rom was extremely crude when he was younger. Yeah, I was crude. I was on some halfway caveman shit. Seriously, I really was. You know, I think I grew out of it, but she was expecting me to behave a certain way. And, you know, I'm looking at it. It's like, well, that's because you're used to your father doing it. Now, that's a 2-parent household. Now, if she can find a passive type of man, she'll think this is normal. And there's a lot of women who grow up in those situations. It's either a 2-parent household or even a single parent, like a single mother who got a live-in boyfriend, right? You know, the woman, little girl see like this dude being bossed around. So, you know, she gonna automatically look for it. Now, remember what I talked about the imprint. The imprint is really formed by either the father or whatever male figure is in the house when the woman's around 7, right? That's the first type of guy she'll look for subconsciously. So if that guy's a weak, passive dude, they're gonna look for it. So even if a young lady grows up in a 2-parent household, it's not a guarantee that she's gonna be real cool with men. Now, right? In order for it to be cool, and well, I'll get into that in a second. If you get a single parent, it can still be a single mother. It's not an automatic thing that she got dudes running in and out. There's a whole lot of single mothers who it's usually the women who they might have had just one child. You usually see it with the women. When you get the children, you don't see it as much with the women who get multiple children by multiple men. Right? Or you don't see it in children who might have 3 children by the same dude that she's dealt with some women to do, right? It's usually but in those cases when it's just like the woman has a child or children by a single father, that woman, the little girl in there can actually turn out okay. Depending on how the child responds, because you get some little girls, yeah, it's a single mother, but the father might be heavily involved in her life. So he's coming around all the time. He a good dude. He's spending time with her, you know. She spends as much time with him. He takes her around, all of that stuff, right? And, you know, she learns how a man really behave. You know, and especially if the mother doesn't talk down on the father, right? So, you know, in that case, even though it's a single parent, that woman still know how to treat a man, right? Or even if it's not the single, like the father ain't in the life, but the woman gets either a boyfriend or just in general, the men she around, she try to hang around with some good men. That's especially the case if a woman has, you know, she a single mother and maybe just have one child. Because usually, in that case, it's usually a woman with, to use BGS's terminology, at least like an 89 or a 92. You know, women trying to, you know, get in college, doing something. Because you do got single mothers, they'll still, you know, they have that child, but they'll still go to school and everything and get it. Usually those women, if they're going to deal with men, usually try to deal with good men. Now, let's be clear, that's not an absolute. They can still deal with knuckleheads. And that's why I say there's no real difference. It really comes down to how the mother interacts with men, what the child sees growing up. Because like in the example I use, it's not automatic if there's 2 parents in the house, if there's a father there, the child's going to be all right. Shoot, there's a lot of women I seen jacked up and their father was in the house. A lot of women. It's scary. A lot of women who get dogged, do dumb shit, right? Still get the wrong man anyway. Yeah, and their fathers be good dudes. There's been some women I met and, I just wanted the panties anyway, so I still deal with them long enough. And might meet the father, and the father, I'm like, damn, this is a good dude right here. Why are you acting so trifling? So it's no real difference, to be honest. It's some real difference. Now, all that said, you still pay attention to it. But it's like, really, if you're dealing with a woman, you pay attention to it, but you pay attention to everything. You pay attention to her religion. You pay attention to her social class. If you can get an indication what type of men she dated, you still paying attention to everything. That's just one more thing. But on the whole, though, it really is a qualified answer. I put it like that. It's not it's a qualified answer. You need more information. I put it like that. But you just can't automatically say, or even say the tendency, oh, she was raised in a 2-parent home. See, one thing, a lot of dudes say that. A lot of dudes who want to be married, who call themselves good guys, want to say that because that's their argument to the woman. It'll be more peaceful. But no, not necessarily. If you marry a woman, but she's still running shit, you simping or something, what good is that doing the child? That's only messed the child up. There's a lot of kids grew up in two-parent. I mean, just by the fact that there are men who grew up with fathers and don't know the game, just the game of life. So it's not an automatic. It's a very qualified question. You got to, it's like, all right, in order to answer this, I need to ask some other questions. All right? But in general, there's no difference. In general, there's no difference. Now, that's what I'm saying. Somebody else might have a different answer, or somebody might else have a different experience, but, you know, I've seen a lot in life. So anyway, right, I'll talk to y'all later. Peace and blessings.